Hello everyone, this is Eric Drouin with Roll a Page. Welcome to another edition of the Okanagan Market Trends video. This is March 2026. We're just done with February. Another one in the book. I gotta say it was a little softer than last February and the one before that, as well. But having said that, it does feel like we're, a little bit transitioning into the spring market. It seems like things, albeit slowly, are picking up. Let's get into the presentation here and look at the slides I prepared. So yeah, seasonal transition. I could tell in the last couple of weeks of February, the weekly sales inched higher than the first couple of weeks. So, we're starting slowly a bit of a spring transition. As far as sales activity, it was still slower than, a little more than January, but a little less than last February there at 296. Price adjustments, well, they remain stable. The price is only down about 1%, which is kind of negligible over last month. If you look year over year, the headline says 10%, but in reality, this is what price has been doing since 2021. And if we go over last year, we're similar, maybe a little bit slower, but we're kind of in a sideways trend. There, and the inventory levels, they're quite high for February, which is good for buyers. Lots of selection for February here. As far as single family, the average price is down 10% year over year. But as I showed you in the previous graph there, we've been in a sideways trend there for the better part of 5 years, minus that quick peak there, that quick bubble. New listings, a little softer than last year, same with sales, and days on the market are a little better than last month there for January, but still just under 80 days there. That's up 10% from last year. When we look at the townhome market, what's striking is we've got a 51% increase on days on the market. Last year we were at 51 days on the market, and this year, it is at 77 days on the market. So quite an increase. The average price is almost unchanged. Sales are down a little bit from last year. Couple more listings this year. So far, it's all negligible. And in the affordable segment, the condo market, prices are still, keeping below the 500,000 mark. Units sold is down a bit year over year. And it says the big headline here is the new listing is basically down 18% from last year. So that's a bit of a supply alert. I know condos have been quite oversupplied, and it's still a buyer's market in the condo, but this might be the first sign of an early sign of a potential recovery. But we still don't know what the ghost or phantom inventory is that the developers are sitting on. But anyways, it's a good thing to note. And as far where we are on the market, we've got 11 months of inventory, and that's a 9% absorption rate. We're quite well established in the buyer's market. 6 months would be kind of balanced. So, we're definitely running away. Like just a few months ago, we were around 8-9 months of inventory. So that's already a 20% push to the upside. So if you're buyers, well, the market's there for you. As far as interest rates, stuff that could help the buyer, there was no meeting last month, so it's been held steady, and we could see the trajectory of the rates over the last year and a bit. This month, they're near the end of the month, there will be another meeting for the Bank of Canada. The forecast is for everything to stay the same, but with Iran, the politics south of the border, everything's volatile. Anything can happen. I'm not, buying the forecast quite yet there, because things could change very quickly. But yeah, well, as far as buyers you've got, pretty much unprecedented choice. You've got the negotiation power. So I would advise to act early before you get flooded with all of the buyers. Secure your pre-approval And if you want to focus on value, if you want to get the most out of your negotiations, focus on property that have been for sale for 2-3 months and up. And obviously, with the rates not moving, financing is quite predictable, and I believe it's going to be stable for most of the year. Notwithstanding what's happening in the Middle East, of course. And as far as sellers, they're the outlook. Well, it's very competitive out there. Only about 30% of the listings are selling. So if you see 100 listings coming on, only about 30 of those will sell. So you've got to be competitive. You've got to have the professional presentation and expect still longer timelines there. And I would, my advice would be beat the rush, get in early. Beat the timing. Peak inventory is coming in a couple of months. So, listing right away this month, if you can, would probably be a good strategy. And at the end of the day, prices have been stable. The national forecast is still expecting us to grow in sales. And as far as the BC forecast, we're supposed, according to the expert, to grow 8% in sales. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. Will it mean we'll have a hot summer? What will the type of winter we've had? We've had a warm winter, so we might have a hot summer in more ways than once, and hopefully in real estate there. That's what's been forecasted anyways. So hope that's helpful. If you want to talk about your personal situation in more details, feel free to reach out to me. I've got my contact info, and it's also in the description of the video. And I'm always happy to help. So reach out. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next month. Take care.